I was recently at the Atomic History Museum in Las Vegas. I took images of some documents that I wanted to put up in case people were interested in seeing the way the impact of radiation has been explained to people around the world where we have done atomic testing. This is the pamphlet, The Meaning of Radiation at Bikini Atoll. Starts out with a little map of this beautiful ring of coral islands. Bikini's here. The beginning is a glossary explaining to the Bikini Atoll Islanders concepts like atom, radiation, gamma radiation, millirems, standard doses, alpha radiation. I find it really difficult to believe that people with a non-Western scientific education could possibly comprehend this glossary and a lot of the concepts in this pamphlet. This introduction at the beginning gives a very good overview of what occurred there. In 1956, the U.S. government asked the people of Bikini to move away from their atoll so that they, the U.S. government, could test atomic bombs there. They tested 23 atomic bombs at Bikini Atoll from 1946 to 1958. In 1968, President Johnson announced that the people of Bikini could return to their atoll. Before the people returned, the U.S. government gathered and discarded the debris of things they used during the test time and planted many thousand food-bearing trees and also built cement dwelling houses and some meeting houses. Between 1969 and 1978, some people returned and lived on Bikini. In 1978, the U.S. government again asked the people on Bikini to move from the atoll. This book explains the reason why they moved the people again, and it also tells information about Bikini Atoll today. It explains about what radiation is and about the tiny radioactive things that came from the bombs and about their distribution in the soil of the atoll. Also, this book gives the information that has been achieved regarding the amount of radiation people might receive, depending on the islands they would live on and the foods they would eat, and how these things would be able to affect the lives of people if they live on Bikini Atoll. The U.S. government has compiled this information to give the people of Bikini so that they will be able to better understand the condition of their atoll today. Some of the information in this book is very much like the information in the book The Eniwetok Atoll today, because of course we tested bombs there as well. So yes, we asked them to move away, and we trashed their island, and here it is back. So here are the topics covered in the pamphlet. This graph I wanted to get a picture of because this is a graph, of course, explaining the concept of a half-life of a radioactive element. And I really don't see the point of including this graph. This is a very difficult graph to read. I've looked at it quite a bit, and you know, I can understand the concepts here. But for these people on Bikini Atoll, the main point needs to be that in anybody's lifetime who might be reading said pamphlet, because here is the depiction of a person's life, the deadly poisonous legacy of this nuclear testing will go on and on and on. Change very slowly, will not disappear for many hundreds of years, and of course many thousands of years. So, radiation, we can't see it, we can't hear it, we can't taste it, we can't smell it, we can't feel it, but still we seem to think it's an appropriate way to generate energy and kill people with bombs. And this is also an interesting depiction because this is showing what types of materials stop certain radioactive energetic rays. And note that the U.S. government said that they built cement houses And cement houses, according to this diagram, will stop gamma rays. And if that's the case, why did the people have to move away again? Clearly, it's a more complicated story, but this is a very, again, it's so simplistic and so disturbing. Here are the tests that were conducted. 1 test in this location, 2 at each of these locations, 4, 7, and 7. 23 total tests. Here's the depiction of the radiation as of 1980 anyway. This is a graphic that describes the way radioactive elements are taken up by the flora and fauna and can come to be in the food that is grown on radioactive soil and in the animals that live on radioactive soil. I think it would be helpful if some Americans would review this information and think about the fallout that we've received here and what we're receiving every day, and the sushi that people are so crazy for. Here are the different food items that could have become contaminated, and these that were eaten by the Bikini Atoll Islanders. Birds, coconuts, fish, fruits, crabs, and of course cancer. Nuclear equals cancer, and this is clearly explained. There's no question. Other defects, cellular defects, damaged cells, that is cancer. Damaged unborn fetuses, genetic mutations, damaged infants and any rapidly growing anything, human babies or animals or plants, stillbirths, miscarriages, childhood defects, malformations, mental defects. We really left these people with a legacy that's stunning, and the same thing is happening to us today. So I wanted to get this up so people could go through these documents, and you can stop the video if you want to see what we've done. This is an interesting page about moving people back in and then moving them out again. So that is the meaning of radiation on Bikini Atoll.